Hi everyone, welcome back to the Java day 7 session, and let's quickly cover up that what we learned in the last session. So we talked about method overriding. That was a major concept that we learned. Okay, we'll be continuing. I will be taking this session as continued to the last topic. Okay, so from a base class, there is a fruit. There are two classes, fruit and mango. Fruit is the base class. It's a super class for my mango class. Okay. Okay. So make milkshake is the method which is already there in a fruit class. Now going to the mango class. In mango class, what I have done is I have a default constructor which is setting some values, and there is a method. Again, I'm writing the same method. Okay, so I have a method as the same method name with the same parameter as that of a base class, and this method is actually overriding, okay, the base class method. Okay, so talking about the override annotation. See, override, it is optional, to increase the code readability. Before that method, just write override. By writing override, it means that this is like descriptive information that below method is actually overriding the base class method. Okay, fine. All right, so that's it. Anything? Okay, let's go to the next topic. We have plenty of topic remaining, so let's continue with that. All right. So in the last session, we learned about overriding, overloading. These are the few concepts that we learned. Now we will continue with the same type of example, okay, but with a new project. We'll say day 7, okay, is a and has a relation. Okay, let's talk about is and has a relation. So guys, I will just copy paste the code from the previous example. I'm going to copy the fruit and mango class from the previous example. Okay, so I have fruit and mango class. Let me close this day 6 project to avoid confusion. Oops, not delete it. It has to be close project. Okay, so I have, oops, sorry. All right, so let's create a main class, and that class should contain main method. Okay. So public static void main string args and string array args. There I will create object of mango. Okay, let's see mango m equal to new mango. So I just now created an object of mango, and on this mango object I will call an instance method. We already talked about static and instance member, right? Static and non-static, that is non-instance and instance member. Okay, so I will say m dot make milkshake. Okay, let's run this code. So it says yummy mango shake. This is a line printed in the method make milkshake yummy mango shake, calling method from a base class, and the base class method is called here. It is printing as it's fruit shake. That's it. So we also learned about how to call a base class method in a derived class. So you have to use super dot the method name syntax. Okay. Now I will go to the main class. Instead of creating object of mango, this time what I will do is I will create object of fruit. Okay, so fruit f is equal to new fruit, and I will say f dot make milkshake. Okay, so when I say f dot make milkshake, this is going to call it's a fruit shake. Okay, no doubt, right? It's directly going to call the method from the make milkshake method from the fruit class. Let me run it. Oops, you only run those classes which has a public static void main. See the outcome. The outcome is it's a fruit shake. Okay, fine. Now what I will do is I will write code something like this. I will write fruit f is equal to new. Okay, I will write this code in a comment first, and then I will uncomment it. Okay. Okay, so I'm writing fruit f equal to new mango. Okay. On this method, I will call f dot make milk shake. Okay, guys. Now you have to guess what is going to be outcome if I run these two lines. Okay. So I will, don't worry, I will give you options. The options are like, the first option is, why is there error? Okay. The first option is error. For this line, we cannot store mango object in fruit variable. Okay. The second option is the code will work. Then the code will run without any error, no error. Okay, I will say instead of code will work, I will say no error. And the outcome will be, I will just comment out this two lines because I don't want to print these two lines. Okay, so the outcome is going to be yummy mango shake. Okay, and I will also give you third option, no error. And the outcome is, by saying that f dot make milkshake, it will call the fruit class method. So that fruit class is actually going to, it's a fruit shake. This will print it's a fruit shake. So guys, I want your answer now. Just guess what could be the answer, option 1, option 2, or option 3. There are 3 options. Let me see. Okay, few people, I see majority people are saying option 2. Okay. Okay, I see majority people are saying option 2, which is right answer. Okay. Now I will tell you why it is right answer. Let's comment out this code. Okay. Do the correction. Make, oops, it has to be there. Make milkshake. Okay, and let's run this code and see outcome. Run as Java application. So you can see that there is no error, compilation error, and the answer is yummy mango shake. But have you noticed this difference? I said fruit reference variable. Okay, this is a fruit reference variable. The variable name is f is equal to new mango. That means I'm actually creating object of a mango, and this object of mango is stored in a fruit class. Okay, now this is possible. Above line is possible. Okay, now why it is possible? There is a reason. The reason is a relation. So can I say that mango is a fruit? Yes or no? Mango is a fruit, right? Yeah. So that is the reason mango extends. So if you say mango is a fruit, you can say that mango extends fruit class. Okay. If you can say mango is a fruit, then mango can extends fruit class. This is possible. Okay. So the similar cases, other example is like, student is a person. So you can say that class student extends person. Okay. So this is valid and this is an inheritance. Now take example. Okay. See, let's take example of this mango and fruit only. So if I say mango is a fruit, okay, and then I can actually call all the methods which are there on that fruit. So let's say f dot, can you see that color is automatically coming, the t, that means test is automatically coming, and this is actually coming from fruit. You can see that because it is, I'm referring this variable as a fruit. Okay, but let's say if I have some extra method in my mango class, public, how many times, let's say it is going to return integer. It will show that how many types of mangoes are there. So get types of mangoes count, let's say count, and this is going to return, let's say there are 3 types of mangoes. So I'm returning number 3, and that 3 value will be returned from this method. Okay, let's go back to the main class, and I wanted to call that f dot, I will say f dot get types of mangoes count. I won't be able to do this method call. The reason is, even though the real object is mango, I won't be able to call the method which is coming from a mango. Okay, can anyone tell me why is this not working? Even though that method is written in a mango class, and if I create object of a mango class, and if I try to call the method from mango class, it doesn't allow me to do that. Solution was, your answer is wrong. Parent can call, I don't know what you're saying, because child having one, no, not really. Okay, now why is this happening? Guys, see, in a real life, object-oriented programming is introduced to solve the real life problem, right? So let's take a real life example. Can I say that employee is a person? Yes, employee is a person. Can I say that student is a person? Yeah, student is a person. So can I say that employee is a student? Employee is a student. No, are you sure? Okay, good. Student is an employee. Student is an employee. Just answer yes or no. Yes, yes, no, yes. Okay. I see majority people are saying yes. So student is an employee, but then why not employee is a student? Why you cannot call employee as a student? Why, Farhan? Why you can't do that? An employee can be a student, right? If a student can be an employee, if employee can be a student, then student can be an employee, right? So Prashant is saying both are yes, right? You're right, Prashant. Vaishali says no. Okay, guys, see. Let me explain you this concept. See, there is a person. I'm really bad at drawing, but still I will try. Okay, there is a person. All right. He is just a person, but he is going to his office. So in office he is employee. In office, okay? In office when I am saying. The same person is going to his classes, in let's say he's he's going to attend some music classes or something like that. So the same person is actually a student. Or for that matter, let's say example, you are already an employee of some company and still you are coming online to learn the Selenium, Java and all this stuff. So I'm treating you guys as a student. Am I treating you as an employee? But actually you are a person, right? Okay. So a one person, a one person is actually referred as different entities. Sometimes he is referred as employee. Sometimes he is referred as a student. I'm talking about the same person. Okay. Let's say the name of this person is Nayan. Okay. Let's say Nayan is employee to her company. Nayan is a student to me. Nayan is a daughter of someone. Okay. She is daughter for someone. And she is also a friend to someone. She might be sister to someone. Okay. The same person, the same person might be sister to someone. Okay. So I'm talking about, the object, the same object is actually referred as the different entities, different classes. So in our case, we had mango. Okay. The It's a mango, but how I was referring that mango, I was referring this as a fruit, because yes, mango is a fruit. Is this concept is clear? So even though the object is actually a mango, still I am referring this as a fruit. So similarly concept, even though the object is of type person, or let's call that name specific is let's say Nayan is a person. Okay. She can be an employee, she can be a student, she can be a daughter, she can be a sister or a friend to somebody else. It depends on how you are referring. Let's say for me, let's say this is me. Let me draw myself somewhere here. Okay, I'm not as ugly as I'm drawing. Yeah, let's say this is me. For me, Nayan is a student, right? I won't be referring Nayan as an employee. I will not refer Nayan as my sister or something, right? So I'm writing a code, something like this, so let's say I'm referring Nayan as a student. So student S is equal to new person. Okay. So I can refer Nayan as a person. Okay. That way. Actually Nayan is a person, but I'm referring as a student. Can I? So if I'm referring as a student, actually I will be able to, uh, give assignments. I can ask to do study, right? because these are the methods which are coming from student, and I was referring that object. Okay, let's say this is something, some object as a student. You can think as a student, I can call the methods which are coming from a student class. Okay, is this is clear, guys? Okay, so in our case, in our example, the object is what? It's a mango. The object is mango, but what I'm doing is I'm generalizing it. I'm generalizing saying that okay, it's a object of fruit, and I'm only calling the method which are available on fruit. I won't be able to call the method which are available on inside a mango class. I can only call those methods which are there in a fruit, because I was referring that mango object as a fruit. Okay, and this is possible. You can actually say that parent class, let's say object equal to new child class. So yeah, this is absolutely possible. Okay, this is absolutely possible. So child class object, you can actually refer that object as a obj, as a object of parent class. But if you do this on this object, you can only call parent class methods. You won't be able to call the methods which are there in the child class. Is that clear, guys? Yes or no? Or you want some more explanation? Okay, perfect. I hope it is clear to everyone. Let me know if you have any questions or if it is not cleared yet. Thank you. So, all right. Then how to call method of a child class? Very good question. I'm actually coming to that. Guys, see, I was referring mango object as a fruit. So can I say that get type of mangoes count, because this method is very specific to mangoes and it is only written inside a mango class? Can I do that, guys? As you can see, it's giving me error saying that the error says that get types of mangoes count is undefined for the type fruit. This method is not present in a fruit, in short. So, but still, the object, as this object, the real object is actually a mango, I should be able to call this method. So in that case, we need to do typecasting, explicit typecasting. So I was referring this object as a fruit. Now you have to refer this object as a mango, and then only you can call the method of mangoes. So how to do that? Let's say mango. Okay, m equal to, then you have to typecast that fruit into mango. Okay, you have to typecast the fruit into mango. So this f object will be converted into mango and will be stored into m variable. And on this m object, you can actually call any method which is coming from a mango class. Is this is clear, guys? Let me run the code. So this first line should display yummy mango shake. Why is that second? Oh, sorry, my bad. So get types of mangoes is actually returning an integer value. You see this, right? int. So get types of mangoes is returning integer. So I'm taking that integer. So count, I will say equal to, and let's print that count. So count. That count has to be 3. Perfect. So as you can see that, I was actually referring that mango as a generalized category fruit. So I can only call those methods which are there on a fruit. But if you want to call this more specific method, which is specifically coming from that mango object, okay, mango class, then you need to typecast that variable into the mango object. So I was referring as a fruit object, and now I am converting that object as a mango object, and then I'm calling method get types of mangoes count on the same object, on the mango object. I hope it is clear. So in short, what I wanted to tell you is this is absolutely allowed. Parent class object is equal to new child class. This is absolutely valid. Only limitation is you can only call parent class methods on object O. Okay, you will not be able to call the methods which are there in the child class on the object O. Okay, so the workaround is as I said, typecasting. All right, so the workaround is typecasting. Now I will go. Okay, I want to touch some other topic. Fine. All right. Let's create another class. Point2d I will create. Okay, point2d has int x, comma, semicolon, int y. So the two variable present in point2d. Okay, it has a constructor, parameterized constructor I want to add. So it will set the value of x, comma, value of y. So this dot x equal to x. I hope everybody know what is this dot x equal to x. This dot y equal to y. Okay. Sorry. Perfect. You can write some method. Let's say I want to write an instance method, or that's okay. I don't care actually. Or you can just override. You don't need to override. Fine. Okay, no problem, guys. See. Yeah, I corrected my mistake. Let me create a new class. Let's say main class. Okay, I cannot create this main class because there is already a class existing with a main class. So I will create that into example2 package. You cannot have two classes with the same name in same package in one package. So I'm creating a separate package. There is a main class, and this main class I have main method. In main method, let's create object of point2d. Oops, sorry. Point. I don't know. Okay. Okay, I have to do one thing. This class I will move into AEX2 package because this sub package, nested package, cannot access the class from coming from parent. So just wait. Okay. So there is a main class, and in that main class, let's create object of point2d. That point2d class is which is coming from EX2 package. You need to have that class in some package in order to access it. So point2d, let's say object, let's say p1 equal to new point. I will pass on 10, 20 value. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me how many methods are written in p1 in point2d class? How many methods we have written? Okay, yeah, we have written one method, but it is not just a method. It is actually a constructor. Let's go here and see. This is the one method which we have written, but it is not a normal method. It is a special type of a method that we call as a constructor. So how many methods are there total? How many normal methods are there? It's 0, right? We don't have any method here. We don't have any extra method. There is just a simple constructor. So there are 0 normal methods available. There is no method. Yes. So let's go back. And what I will say, I will just say p1 dot, and what you see here. Okay. In that class, point2d class, there is a x value, y value. These are default, So it is not private. So as it is not private, it is accessible outside a class. I can say that p1 dot, but still there are some extra methods which are coming. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There are 9 extra methods which are automatically coming, even though if you don't write it. Okay. Can anyone tell me how come these methods are coming in my point2d class? Okay. Okay, looks like some of you already answered this question. Actually, I wanted to tell you one thing. So, who is the parent class of point2d class? Who is the parent class of point2d class? I don't see any parent, right? Is there any extend statement? Extends? There is no extend statements. So there is no parent class. It means in Java, if any class is not having any parent, it means its parent class is object. This is built in. So if your class is not having any parent class, Java automatically adds object as the parent class to that class. So this line extends object is automatically added. Even though if you don't write it, still this class is having parent as the object. And guys, don't get confused between the classes and object. That I'm talking about a object class. So you see this object, O capital, it is a class. The class name is object. Okay, don't confuse this with the normal object. So this is a class name as an object. Okay, and point2d class extends object. So even though if you don't write it by default, still it is going to extend object because of JVM. So as soon as you see p1 dot, you get all the methods. This method, it is coming from object. Get class, this is coming from object. Hash code, it's coming from object. Notify all, toString, object, wait for object, and wait again from object. Most of these methods are useful for handling the thread. So JVM actually handles your program thread. That is the reason JVMs requires these methods to be there in every object. So some of those methods are like toString. Okay, toString method. This method returns the string representation of your object. As you can read this, it is returning string representation of your object. So in simple term or layman term, you can say that this is just a string representation, this textual representation of your object. So let's see what is that value returning. So I'm saying system.println p1.toString. Okay, toString will return the string value, and that string value I'm printing. So I'm saying string representation as p1.toString. Let's run this code. Any guesses, guys? What will be the outcome? Any guesses before we run the code? Guys, don't be afraid. Your answer might be wrong or might be correct, but please try to answer. Okay, some people say string, hex value, random value, string representation, 20, 10, and 20. Prashant is saying string representation, but what exactly a string representation? Will it be 10 or 20, or will it be something else, or is it going to be a random value, or what? Ashwini says random value. Prashant says 10, 20. Varsha says 20, 20. Okay. No random. Okay. All right, no problem. Let's run it. Okay, it's time um, to run the code and see. Okay, let me clear you one thing, that this is not going to print 10 and 20. It will print the package name dot class name at the rate some hexadecimal value. Okay, somebody already said that hex value. So this is package name dot class name at the rate some hexadecimal value. This hexadecimal value is known as hash code. So that hexadecimal value is known as a hash code. Hash code, it is something like unique number assigned to each object to identify that object uniquely. Okay, so hash code, it's automatically assigned, automatically generated number by JVM, and that number is assigned to your object so that JVM can identify that object uniquely. Okay, so that's the hash code. But this line is not going to give you 10 and 20 values. If you want, I want toString should return value something like this. Let's say P 10, 20. Let's say I want toString method should return P open bracket 10, 20 value. Then guys, any idea how I can do this? I don't want that hexadecimal value. I'm not interested at all. What I am interested into is I want that p1.toString should be printing P10, 20. Print X and Y, not really. Okay, the answer is very easy, which we already learned in the last session. The answer is use overriding. Okay, now which method I will override? toString method was automatically coming from an object class. Okay, it is coming from object class. What I will do is I will override toString method in point2d class. Let's say toString, say toString. I'm just typing some initials and saying control space enter. So control space enter will give you an option to override method in object, the method which is coming from object. So I just said double click. So that method is automatically generated by Eclipse. And in this code, I will write some code as, see, this method is supposed to return a string. So let me return. The value I want to return is P opening bracket, the value of X, then comma, the value of Y, and then at the end, closing circular bracket. Alright, so I just overridden the toString method which is coming from an object class and returning my own value which I want to return. Now coming back, so here I will run the same code without any changes. I will run the same code without any changes, but this time you will see answer as P opening bracket 10, 20. This is what I wanted. So like this is one example of overriding, when we can use overriding. One example is overriding toString method. As you know, object class is the parent of all the classes. It is the ultimate parent of all classes. Let's say if there is no class having a, there is a class having no parent, that means the parent of that class is object. So ultimately all the classes are derived from object class. So the methods, for example, toString, hash code, wait, notify, this kind of a methods are already there in all the Java objects automatically, because object is the ultimate parent of all classes. And if you want, you can override those methods, some of those methods. Okay, the overriding is very easy. You just have to write that just now we overridden the toString, similarly. But guys, there are few methods which cannot be overridden. You cannot override some method. So let me tell you a few methods. For example, I'm going to write, let me see the different methods which are coming from object. Let's say p1 dot. So I see equals method. I see get class method. Let's try to write get class method. Let's try to override get class method and see what happens. So I'm saying, oops, it will return object of class. Okay, question mark, get class, return something. I will say return null. But as you can see, this error, this will give me error, cannot reduce the visibility. Okay, I will make a public and let's see the error. Cannot override the final method from object. So if I try to override a final method, okay, so if you declare a method as a final in a base class, if you declare a method as a final in a base class, the deriving classes cannot override it. So how to stop overriding? How to stop overriding? Just method as final. Okay, just declare that method as final in base class. All right. So let's take example. I'm going to fruit and I will make this method as final. Okay, I said final void the method name, save it, come to the mango class, and there you will start getting error saying that cannot override final method from fruit class. Okay, so final methods cannot be overridden. Okay, if you want that method not to get overridden, then just declare that method as a final, so it will not be overridden in derived class. I hope I made my point clear. Perfect. So this you can't do. Okay, I'll just remove that because get class method is defined as final method in object class. You cannot override it. Perfect. But toString method is common method. You can go and override it. You can actually return any string representation that you want. All right. So let's move on to some other topic. Guys, one more thing, final keyword is also used. If you are using final keyword with a variable, that means you are making that variable as a constant. Okay, final variable means constant. If you are making method as a final, that means you are saying that this method cannot be overridden in your child class. Okay, now there is third use of a final keyword also. Okay, so let's go back to the mango and fruit example. The final fruit is the base class. I will make this class as a final. So if you make class as a final, so fruit class I made final, so you cannot inherit fruit class. You can see that error. The type mango cannot subclass the final class fruit. So the second use of final keyword is stop inheritance. Okay, final class cannot be inherited. We cannot inherit the final class. And one use was declare constant. So final with variable. If you declare that final keyword with a variable, that variable becomes a constant. So there are three uses of final keyword. Okay. Similarly, we already learned about super keyword. There are two uses of a super keyword. First is call base class constructor, and second use of final keyword is call base class methods. Okay, even it is overridden. still it will be called. All right. Any questions so far, guys? Okay. So we learn final also, then we learn about object class. It is parent class of, it is the ultimate parent, it is the ultimate parent class of all classes in Java. So in short, any class who don't have a parent, that class will be having object as the parent class. Okay. All right. So these are the few topics that we have covered. Okay. I wanted to tell you one more thing detailed about the final keyword. So I'm saying sample class in example 3. Okay. Let's say I want to declare a final variable. Final int number semicolon. So can you see that final int number? If you simply say that, it will tell you that blank final field may not have been initialized. So this is a final variable, but this is not yet initialized. Okay. Now how to initialize? There are two ways of initializing this final variable. The one way is simply say some number. Oops. So you can directly assign some number final to a final variable, or let's create a constructor. Okay, and initialize that variable in a constructor. So there are two options. You can directly initialize it here, or you have to initialize in constructor. If you are not initializing in constructor or using directly equal to, it will give you error saying that a blank final may not have been initialized. Is that clear, guys? So initialization of a final variable is must. Either you can directly say that equal to value, or in constructor you can give the value. Okay, guys. But say this is a static variable. Okay, let's say it is a static final. So static variable are those members which are assigned to a class. So for a static variable, it is mandatory to initialize variable like this. For a static variable, you cannot initialize it in a constructor. Always remember this. If that final variable is an instance member, then only you can either you can directly initialize it here, or you can initialize in a constructor. But if the final variable is static, you must have to say equal to and the value. You can't initialize in the constructor. So initializing in a constructor is known as like delayed initialization, and this is possible for a blank final. Blank final, it means just declare the final variable and later on you can initialize the value. That is a concept of blank final. It was just a small topic which we missed and wanted to cover. Okay, perfect. Any questions so far? Okay, it's good. I don't see any questions, but please do not hesitate if you have any questions. Feel free to ask me any questions, if you have anything. So there is a question. So if the variable is non-static, and then what is the significance of it? If the variable is non-static, that means it is associated with the object. The memory will be allocated to that variable when the object is created. So when the object is created, automatically a constructor is called, and this time, it will initialize the static final variable. So static variable means those variables which are associated, those members which are associated with a class, not with the object. And whereas non-static members, non-static means the instance member are associated with the object. So for a non-static, as you can see that, I will not give the value immediately because the memory is not getting allocated at this line. Memory is allocated once the constructor is called. Okay, as soon as the constructor is called, the constructor is actually doing the job of setting the final variable. So once you set a final variable, you cannot change that value. Hope it is clear now. Okay, I hope I cleared my doubt, Vaishali. Thanks. All right, so we covered blank final as well. Okay, then what we covered? We covered is a relationship, and let me tell you about has a relationship. Okay, so can anyone tell me point 2D has a, let's complete this sentence. Point 2D has a, please complete this sentence. Point 2D has a what? Can I say that point 2D has a x and y coordinate? Because it's a two-dimensional point, right? So point 2D has a x and y coordinate. Or let's take example. Another example is mango has a color. Mango has a taste. Or fruit has a color. Fruit has a taste. So most of the time, all this has a are considered as attributes to the class. These are like properties or the attributes. So we write that inside a class. So let's say sample class has a number. So we write that inside a class. So you can refer this as the properties or the methods or the data members, anything. So I hope it is clear. So is a relationship, it means inheritance. For example, student is a person. Okay, that's the example. And has a relationship, we covered like fruit has a taste. Okay, so this was just another example. Is a and has a relation. If there is a relationship, if there is an inheritance, we can say that parent class object is equal to new child class object. So you can create object of a child class, refer that as a parent class. But if you say p dot method, you can only call only parent class methods you will get. Okay, if you want to call the child class methods, you will have to typecast it. Child class, let's say C object is equal to typecast, and just write the object name. Object name is O. Perfect. And then you can say the C dot child class methods. I hope this is clear. So we have covered many topics today, and I think we should take a break for today because as we covered many small topics, though it is small, but these are very important topics. And let's have a question and answer session now.